This is unbelievable.
How goes it, household? How goes it, window lickers? Everybody out there, Chaos Goblins, we're so glad you stopped in here. This is our first show after the second night of WrestleMania. And if you hung out with IYH this weekend, well, we covered both nights on a live stream.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of hours of wrestling, Kevin, a lot of jokes and a lot of laughs. It was a fun time. Had a great time with you and Annie and House and Belle and Bryce and everybody who stopped in.
Scrap Lotto, shout out Scrap Lotto for a bit on the one podcast.
Scrap was with us. He was also a guest on the Sunday episode where we did our predictions. And yeah, it was a fun weekend, man. Mania weekend. How was it for you, Kev?
You know, again, I know I mentioned this going in, but like it was a bittersweet weekend in the sense of like it was the first without my buddy. But at the same time, we had so much family around us for so much of the time that it's almost like I made new memories. And like, it's not a replacement, but it is something to look forward to every year and like have that fun with friends and do things with them. And man, I kept myself fucking busy all weekend because even without the two watch-alongs that we ended up doing, because we did the one and then we're like, oh man, that was fun.
Yeah.
Let's just do it again.
Yeah, why not?
We also had the Sunday house party, and then I also streamed for 4 hours on Saturday before our stream. It was a long weekend with copious bevies for Kevin, and and just a lot of fun had.
Yeah, you could almost put this on a resume if you ever decide to work at an Apple store. Be like, you ever streamed for an entire weekend? I have.
I have, with limited breaks.
I love it. Well, it would be an Android store. I know you're against the old Apple, which is fine, except in chats.
Except when you hate it.
Yeah. Look, nothing irritates me more than not being able to edit. And our group chat is filled at least once a week with one of us complaining about how we weren't able to edit.
It's usually you or Jones.
Yeah.
House doesn't do a whole lot of the complaining. It comes up every so often from him.
Yeah. But usually it is me and Jones. Yeah. We usually throw it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a great time. It was a fun Mania weekend. Loved WrestleMania this weekend. Don't care what you got to say because Mania was fun for me. I spent it with friends. I spent it with you, household. New friends that we met along the way, and some old friends that stuck with us damn near all stream, man. Fighting's won. You are a champ if you're out there.
Landon, if you're out there.
Landon, you were there all weekend too. Man, we really appreciate you guys. And you know what? Let's get into it. It was we just had a pretty great Monday Night Raw after Mania. I liked this one, Kevin. It was action packed. We had a lot of stories being told. We had a lot of chaos that happened. We had some more fuel added to that IC title picture. Man, I'm so excited about that. So, Kev, like we've been doing, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about to kick off the show?
To kick it all off. Oh man. You know what? I'm going to start simple yet maybe complex.
Ooh.
In the sense that what he did was very simple, but where it goes could be more complex. Obafemi opens the show. and
Man,
they gave him the opening to the Raw after Mania, which speaks volumes.
huge honor.
And he walked out. He strutted out. He didn't walk regular. He strutted out. He got in the ring. He looked like $1,000,000 dressed to the nines. And he said one sentence and dropped the mic. That was, listen, I know a lot of us like glorify all the promos where like they can really talk it off the cuff. They can really go forward. But in moments like this reminded me of when Roman Reigns came out after beating The Undertaker.
Oh,
Or when Brock came out after beating The Undertaker.
man.
Both, I think, are applicable. I
Yeah.
remember Roman's more just off the top of my head because Roman just came out. He took in about, I don't know, 10 minutes worth of crowd boos and then just stared directly at the hard cam and said, "This is my yard now," and then dropped my mic. And
Yep.
it was just done. And that's where it left. And then he left the ring. This is what that felt like, except all the crowd was cheering for him.
Yeah. Yeah. It
And
had to be
Oba came out.
deafening there.
Oh my God. Oba came out and I think he said something along the lines of like the ruler is here or something like that. Something like that. And just that line resonated all the way through. I don't know fighting because there's been a bunch of times during the course of wrestling history that it's happened beforehand, just like I referenced with Roman Reigns and such. I don't think it's necessarily a stolen bit. It's more of a
Recycled.
it could be recycled, but at the same time, like, how many times are we recycling this? I think it's more of a held on bit
Yeah.
in the sense of like if you could walk out there what you did before or the night prior generally, because this generally happens after pay-per-views. The night prior had such an impact that you don't need to talk about it. There's
Yeah.
nothing else to it. If that makes sense.
No, it does. 100%.
Where the issue then gets more complex, and I'd love to hear the suggestion, Ribshot. You can feel free to start typing that in while I go through this. Where does Oba go now to get to Roman? We've carved out some paths in the sense of we've talked about maybe a King of the Ring. We've talked about maybe a SummerSlam. But what does he do in the interim to keep the importance of him? Like, realistically, he's got to beat somebody. Oh, yeah, that's
The
fair.
Joe Pesci.
Well, then they
love
didn't
it.
steal the bit from Jericho. Everyone stole it from Pesci.
Yeah, there you go.
Wildly enough, side tangent, wrestlers get inspiration from places all the time.
Oh, yeah.
There very much could have been someone who watched Joe Pesci do that and go, I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. And Ribshot, you don't have to ask. Just make your suggestion, my
Make the
friend.
cheeky
Your
suggestion,
family.
maybe. Yeah. But like realistically, going forward for Oba, and I'll pass it off to you so I don't belabor the point in the question, but in the next, I'm just going to say 2 months. Let's just say 2 months. Because then you could start building King of the Ring or whatever you want to do for it. In the next 2 months, who could we realistically put up against Oba to keep the momentum?
Well, that's interesting because he's slain the beast. I don't want them to go a normal direction in which I believe their normal routine is with a guy like this. They're going to throw a legend at him, another legend, one that's still working. And right now, to me, the only legends that are still working is it would be. I don't want him to go Ray because he's so like we've seen Ray go up against big guys. We've seen it. I don't need to see Oba. Oba doesn't have anything to prove to me
Yeah.
beating up a legend like Ray. But Randy Orton,
Hmm?
that could be interesting. Oba and Randy, because the reason I think that is because Randy with anybody is going to give us that next layer. And I want Oba right now to be a bloomin' onion. And I want all the layers to just every next thing step he takes, I want a new layer from him, because I think that's how you're going to keep him more interesting of a big man. So going up against Randy would be almost poetic in my brain,
Mm-hmm.
and just because Randy's into he's punting motherfuckers in the head again. So somebody like that is the only challenge that you could have for Oba.
Sure.
Somebody willing to go and cross that line and see if Oba can match it or handle it. But the more I talk about it, the more I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Here's a thought process. Do you even do anything with him for the next 2 months? And I know
What?
that's weird to say, but come with me on this journey.
Okay.
If there aren't anyone that you, if there or sorry, aren't if there isn't anyone that you want to feed him, like an Orton, like a Ray, like a Gunther, like a Braun Breaker, like these larger heels, or even a Seth Rollins. What if you just left him off TV? And I know that sometimes could be the antithesis to some people, but at the same time, we've seen time after time after time, and this is, I know what I'm saying is not going to be a heavily valued point,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of we want to see more Oba because we love Oba, right?
Yeah.
But if he weren't around, would his music hitting in like a month and a half still have the same impact after beating Brock? I would argue yes. So if we don't want to just put him with mid-card guys to kill them, if we don't want to just have him beat up a tag team, if we don't want to just do something like that, what if we don't do things and we hold him off until it matters?
Almost like what Brock was doing.
You see the parallels.
So, okay, there has to be a point though to where we have to add him more. Correct?
Correct. And that's why I'm saying only a month and a half.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not saying we hold off until SummerSlam and then Oba comes out and, beats up Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. I suspect Roman Reigns only because I think Orton and Cody Rhodes are going to be on a collision course for most of the summer.
Got you.
Um,
Got you.
and I think the SummerSlam main event is going to be Orton Cody still, in my
Beautiful.
opinion. Uh, that being said, with Oba, if you don't want him to feel lesser after beating Brock Lesnar, because like who's going to challenge Oba in their right goddamn mind after he just beat up Lesnar?
True. True.
The only
Okay.
people who would do that are like larger heels, like a Braun, like a Bronson Reed, like guys that he can conquer still. They would have to be of his physique because otherwise I don't think it makes sense. I'm not going to have him face, Finn Balor or Dom Mysterio.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it. Not right now.
Yeah. No,
Not until he's beat.
yeah, that I mean, yeah, there has to be somebody who shows the way to beat him before the mid card. I don't even want to say mid carders, but the smaller stature guys
Right.
go up against him and beat him. Let's hit this chat real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Rib shot, yes, I love that. You know what, Rib shot, you need to reach out to us so we can make a connection. We have some ideas of some cross promotion with you and your channel. But yes, you're 100% on that one. I agree full heartedly. The second night was a spur of the moment thing because we just had so much fun on the first one. But we will advertise more. I
I
did
also
like,
think there's a way to schedule so that it notifies people when it
yeah,
goes when it's going live. So I think that might be what he might mean too.
yeah, that's 100% too. And we'll work on that also.
Hmm.
I didn't mind this suggestion. Alistair Black.
I don't.
Would we want
I
this in the
so I
future?
think future, yes, but we still need to build up Alistair Black is the problem. We have
True.
Oba just shot to the top, but Alistair Black didn't shoot with him.
Mhm.
And putting Alistair Black with him will either A, you're going to have to take credibility from Oba to build up Alistair, which I think is a detriment to Oba, or you're going to have Oba destroy Alistair Black, which
That's a
is a
detriment.
detriment to Alistair.
Yeah. No, I got you on that one.
You got to be real careful with what you're going to do with Oba here because his next match can't be competitive.
We got Anthony chiming in saying, Josh and Kevin, how about Oba versus Moose? Because they were setting up and leaving crumbs for a match like that on NXT and on TNA, but it never happened.
Ooh, why don't you hit your thoughts on that first, voice? I have an opinion.
Well, um, in the landscape of big guys, especially with them having it seems like a very close relationship with TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I wrong there, Kevin? Or this seems
No,
like
no, they
this
have a good relationship with TNA.
this seems like they pulled the curtain back when they used to work with ECW behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes. And this is just kind of in our face. In the landscape of big guys, I think that would be a mountain for Oba to climb. But I would have done that before he went against Brock because Moose isn't Moose's mountain's not as big as Brock's. And I understand the buildup, and they probably rushed it. From sitting back and just being a fan of Brock, it seems like he pulled a card when they went back and announced that that would be his last SummerSlam before they even announced he would be at Mania. They
Mm-hmm.
said he was going to be this was his last SummerSlam. It was set up perfect, but it seems like, as Brock has been known to do in his career, he pulled his own Brock card and he chose Mania to be his end. And from what I read from a podcast that one of the executives from TKO were at, TKO has complete creative control. They they have the control. So right now, yes, like Bryce pointed out in our chat, Triple H and WWE are probably doing like what we would consider the heavy lifting by being the characters, by being at the shows, by making sure everything's running fluid. But they're the ones making the decisions, and Trips and all those guys just have to be like, all right, boss. Yep, that's what we're going with. Maybe he is allowed to throw out some suggestions, but from what I read from the transcript of that, they have complete control. So I don't know, but I'm going to stick with. I would love to see the match. Don't get me wrong, but it would have been way more meaningful if it was before Brock.
You took my opinion from me, which
I'm
I figured
sorry.
you would, so I wanted to make sure. I for the same reasons, and also for the additional reason of I understand that TNA and WWE have a close relationship, which is good, but TNA has a close relationship with NXT for the most part.
Yeah.
And I don't really have an interest of Oba going back to NXT. We can't put Pandora back in the box. It's not. I think Moose would be sick to see across the ring from. Like the visual of it would be great. So like, let's just sign Moose, I guess, is more of my argument.
Oh,
But
I like
as
that
far
argument.
as anything else, I think at this juncture right now, I don't think Moose works with Oba
Okay.
because they need to keep Oba strong. And if Moose was there, they'd have to kill Moose. And if you're going to kill Moose before he's on WWE TV,
Yeah.
we might be killing off Moose.
Yeah. That would be it.
Again, it boils back to like, if we're in a King of the Ring tournament with Oba, we can have him realistically destroy some mid-card guys and it would be meaningful because he's moving on in a tournament. It's for something. It's for the World Heavyweight title. Of course he would dominate.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're just like, I hate you kind of feud, we better have someone who's someone Oba can conquer.
You know, Anthony, yeah, Kevin, I'm with you. See, now
Hmm.
my ADHD is
Sure.
kicking in because um Anthony, I'm gonna say, you know who would be impressive to me right now if he
Oh
was
God.
healthy and he was back? Brunson Reed.
Yeah. You
Because
know what?
yeah,
It's
go
also
ahead.
funny. Actually, you know what? Finish yours first, then I got mine because
I
AAA
was
got
just gonna
mine quite a
say
bit.
his body type, his aggression, the way that we've seen him handle himself in a ring, that's a boulder for Oba. That's somebody who's going to give us those moments where Bronson gets one of those. He gets the upper hand over Oba, and then Oba has to play defense, and he has to conquer over what Bronson Reed's going to dish out to him. Because I'm sorry, but tsunami after tsunami after tsunami can stop any big man. Just ask any Islander who's battled them; they will stop you. And Brunson Reed is somebody who could do that, and it's not too out of the viewer's mind to for that to be a reality that he does win, or he has a chance to win. So I think visually that gives me the most excitement for who I see out there now. Now I know Brunson's nowhere near being here, but we also have, man, I don't know. Like Opa's such a unicorn now.
I got one because AAA got my mind going, and it's Anthony. What he just said. Omas.
Almost Omas.
Omas.
Ooh.
So
How?
the
Ooh.
reason I think that would still be good is because Omas, no matter what, just like the Big Show, he's a big dude, so he never loses credibility because he could just go kill some more people in
Yeah,
AAA, and he doesn't lose any credibility.
true.
It You might not believe Omas is going to win, which is fine because we don't believe Oba's going to lose at this point. So that's going to be a whole shock in itself when he does. But Omas would be impressive enough without hurting him that you could bring Omas into this and have Oba not be able to knock him down until he does, if that makes sense. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying Omas should be clearing fucking Oba from the ring or anything. Like, he shouldn't be getting the upper hand. It's more that Oba can't move the immovable boulder until he does.
yeah,
That's still a story that you can do because Brock feels like that to an extent, but he isn't the sheer size and like girth of a Bronson Reed or an Omas. So it still feels impressive, if that makes sense.
no, it does. It does. No, I could understand that because it's like the Great Khali.
Mm-hmm.
When the Great Khali was around, yes, was he beatable? Of course, but he was this thing that was separate from everything else backstage. Omos is the same thing.
Bingo.
He's separate from it. So when you bring him out, I mean, dude, I marked out for a Punjabi prison match that I got to watch live. So I got to witness one of those matches live. I got to see the Great Khali. And let me tell you, he does not have a moveset.
No,
His moveset was not there. But I still got to see a
here's the
great,
brain chop.
I got to see it. And I got to see Mr. Kennedy bleed so much that they had to come out and change the mat. they, they had to, he bled everywhere.
Jesus
It
Christ.
was an epic one. But yeah, so I love that discussion. Great discussion, Kevin. Way to kick
Mhm.
off this Tuesday recap show. Okay, I got to jump into it because
Yeah. Give me yours,
IYH
baby.
IYH is so excited about this. We talk about the IC championship all the time. And right now, we just had one of the best ladder matches we witnessed at a WrestleMania for the IC title. And the fire just got bigger on Monday night. I'm so excited for this. It's usually after matches like that, you usually have the separation, and then you see the champion go take on the next contender. and
Hmm.
then the other guys go back in line and they battle to get back up to that number one contendership.
Yep.
Not this time. This time they're all in their faces. They're
No.
like, no, that match didn't even count. I don't give a shit. We're
Bell
running.
never rang.
Exactly. And to me, Kevin, I have a feeling that they might be running something back at Backlash.
I think they are.
Does it seem that way?
Hmm. It
Okay.
100% feels that way because it doesn't. It feels like it's going to be a fatal four way with the addition of Senior Ethan Page,
I like it. I
which
really
is a
like it.
great way to intro Ethan Page.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this set up for his intro to be, it was one of the better intro matches to a main roster that I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I was entertained with it. We got to see what Ethan can do. We got to see what Javon Evans does. I mean,
Mhm.
that kid, he's so good. So good. It's
Nuts.
just so good. And the
He's
way that him
nuts.
and Ethan worked with each other, I want more of those two. I want to see some more matches with them. Put put that number one contendership on the line for them. If we're going to get those results every time, sign me up. I loved it. It was a great one. And then the chaos ensued over that. So,
Hmm.
Kevin, what's your thoughts? Where are you at with the IC title?
Man, I like what they're doing with the IC title right now.
Me
I
too.
like it. And I think what we do with it is exactly what I feel like they set up. A fatal four way. Getting a bunch of guys into the title picture, all looking legitimate as mid card guys that you can keep moving up in a sense of like the mid card isn't where some of these guys might stay. But even if it does, they'll feel more important afterwards. And if we can make them feel more important, we can make Rusev feel more dangerous. We can make Ethan Page more cunning and conniving. We can make Javon Evans more spectacular. And we can make Penta feel like more shit. I'll take Penta as more of an underdog if I need to. Like,
He works well
but
as well.
he but he's going to do everything he can to sacrifice his life to sacrifice yours first.
Yeah.
He's the Penta is the embodiment of Shang Tsung from the Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s.
Love it. Love it.
Of
Love it.
the your brother's soul is mine and I'll take yours next.
Yo, you better watch out.
So, man, the more hype we can get around this IC title division, I think the better off it's going to be. And I think you're going to see JD McDonough float around it a little bit more too. I don't think you'll see Ray float around it, only because I think he's going to move on to however he's going to retire.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going to move Ray. Whether that be his final match being with Dom Mysterio so that it could be a father-son gimmick, or whether it be Gunther retiring Ray and claiming another career, or he just walks away. Like, that's an option too.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of hype around the Intercontinental title picture that I like. There's a lot of hype around the US title picture right now. And I think both these mid-card titles elevating is just such a huge thing. Because if you care more about the mid-card, then you're going to care more about the upper card. And you care more about the lower card and who's moving up from the lower card, or if you want someone to move up from the lower card. And the more hype you can put around more titles with more significance, the better.
True. 100% true. And what I love, and correct me if you're not feeling this also, but this has made the IC like when I grew up with the IC. It's
Mm,
without the idea of it, the world title is going to be your next step, but the
right.
importance of it and everybody reaching for it, especially my favorites. I mean, even like Bryce says, every day's Rusev Day. Rusev, I love Rusev, and I think that they are doing fantastic work with him since they got him back in the WWE, especially in this story. He's going to really shine around the IC title. Um, Javon Evans, I mean, you're able to highlight that young man every opportunity you can when you have him around this title. And I think you take that recipe and you just shift it on over to Ethan Page, because he's going to be an excellent addition to your mid card titles. He's going to be an excellent addition to anything that you need a Swiss Army knife. I'm telling you right now, you just got two of them, and one of them is the youngest out there. So you got that Swiss Army knife for a long time.
Yeah.
So, and any time that the IC title's highlighted and in this fashion, um, I'm a happy wrestling fan, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, like, to be honest.
People get mad about things all the time, every
They
day,
do, they do, they
and that's
really do.
okay. They're
It
they're
is.
entitled to their opinion, and we're entitled to have a good time.
Exactly. And we did. And
We did.
I think this Monday Night Raw after Mania was one of the best they've done in quite a while.
I think quite a
Um,
bit. Like it felt like we had enough call ups. It felt like we had a couple surprises, and it just we didn't have that one culminating surprise. I think how they ended the show. Oh, and I guess we'll just talk about that now. How
okay.
they ended the show, I don't think was like anticlimactic in the sense of like it's cool to see that Jacob came out, looked Roman dead in the eye, and says, "I want what you have." I don't think that that's inherently a bad thing, but it didn't. The one thing it didn't do is leave with a bunch of intrigue and a bunch of questions like we usually get at the end of a Raw after Mania. So maybe I am talking myself into this. I think it ended up for the whole show, not if it was a contained segment, but the whole show that it felt a little anticlimactic
Mm.
because we had all these other things coming up. We had all these other things like happening in the show, which we'll talk more about all of those. We had all these debuts. We had all these good matches, closing things, closing chapters in books. And there wasn't like if Fatu would have hit Roman in the head with something, that would have felt more climactic. Like if Jacob would have just laid out Roman, even for a half a second, I think that would have given us something more. But
Mm.
instead, it felt like Roman punked out his next challenger and then walked away, if that makes sense.
No, it does, and it harkens in my head when you're speaking of this. This was Godfather 3.
Yeah.
They relied heavily on the story that the story around Jacob. Okay,
Hmm.
so visually, all right, fans, walk with us. So visually, what we see is Roman walking up. Usos are right off to the right of
Hmm.
him as he's
Both
walking
sides. I
up.
think they were flanking both sides, but still.
They
Either
Roman,
way,
yeah, yeah,
I'm
Roman,
being unnecessarily semantical.
yeah. And I'm being the guy who just kind of kept going with it because I know Kevin and I know he was doing his thing. Um,
ADHD too far.
he uh he greeted them. They acknowledged each other. He gets to the door. He stops, looks back, tells them to come with him. They all go out there. Jay throws on the glasses. They go out there, and then we hear an emotional confession from
Hmm.
Jacob. In my opinion,
Yeah.
we hear him he lay out exactly his intentions and what he wants. Um, these were also the men who said, we were told never to associate with him. We were told to stay away from Jacob.
Yep.
And now they're forced to deal with Jacob. So that's why I say The Godfather 3. You're taking all these talents that we know can tell stories. Jacob has proven himself in the past year. The Usos and Roman have proven themselves year after year after year. And maybe that's where they're going. Maybe that's why they didn't, because I feel exactly what you're saying. If Jacob would have just laid Roman out with something, that right there, there's your emotion. That's where the big bang, that's where it comes from. But it's almost like they're trying to steer Jacob away from that fuck it mentality. I'm going to just kill you. And
Yeah, I hate
that's
that.
not Jacob. That's
That's
not,
yeah.
give us. All gas, no
They
brakes.
he hasn't proven that he's all gas, no brakes right now,
No.
though. He used to be.
Well, this
Now
is Jay
now
main.
he feels declawed. He feels like a werewolf without his claws.
And you can ask the question: is his slogan the same as main event Jey Uso? That it's that just a slogan. Where's the gas?
Oh, I hate that for him too.
Yeah, and I don't want that. But you're making a great point. Where has it? It doesn't. That left it feeling like they don't want the Jacob that has been building these past 4 or 5 months.
So let me let me try and butterfly affect this into the future and look at some
I,
paths.
yes.
So I think if we keep Fatu on the path of how he has felt in the last few, I want to say a few months. I don't think it's been that long, but it's long enough to notice. Because the feud with Drew tried to put the claws back on him, but there were one too many times where I don't think he was unhinged enough, and he just, I don't know, he felt more like he just didn't feel the same as an unhinged guy. Like
Yeah.
all the
He
stuff.
felt like buying a Rage Against the Machine CD at Walmart.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Instead of your
you get that
underground.
aggression, but
We could have went more hardcore though.
yeah, we could have went to Sam Goody.
We could have found a band that was more hardcore. But like, if we okay, so let's we're going down the path. So if we stay down this path, do we feel he will be in the main event scene going forward?
Oh man,
Because I think people are going to start turning on him if he's against Roman.
the way Roman's moving right now, yeah,
So then when one crowd starts getting boos for Fatu, I don't think Fatu has enough star power yet to then come back from that, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So then, assuming that it goes down the same, um, might be good, especially. I think Oba would kill Fatu, and at that point, I don't know what we're doing here too. Oba's got to kill the next person, and if Oba's just gonna steamroll Fatu, I think we're in trouble. Well, Fatu's in trouble. Oba will be fine. But
Well, if I can interject real quick, I
sure,
think they're giving us this match too soon.
Fatu and Roman.
Yeah, Fatu needs more star
Can
power.
I
He needs
can I
more
go down
match.
the second butterfly path before you
Yes,
take that
please
answer?
do. Please do.
Because the second path to this is to have Fatu annihilate Roman, not for the title, but to go unhinged on him, turn him heel. Fatu is better as a heel, an unhinged one.
100%.
I think he can work as an unhinged face, but they haven't done it that way. And he got over as the unhinged heel. I think people are going to try and cheer him when they turn him heel and have him attack Roman. But I think Roman's enough star power that if you do it against Roman, you have the possibility of at least splitting the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the avenue in which we turn Fatu, I think we're onto something with Fatu.
Yeah. Oh man. Because
Because he
I'm
doesn't need to win the title from Roman. He could lose 3
no,
straight matches, and it wouldn't hurt Fatu that much. Because Fatu, in the meantime, can go through Jey Uso. He can go through Jimmy Uso. He can go through anybody else in his path that he needs to. He just doesn't beat Roman, and that's okay. Because another way you can finish it is have Fatu get disqualified in one of the matches because he went to psycho mode.
well that's where my mind was at. With the way you were picturing or painting it, I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking he in that match he's just got to get to the point to where he gets DQ'd.
Yep.
This kind of begs. This is actually like drawing up a lot of questions in my head now
Good.
because now I'm asking: Did he leave? Did he leave the group too soon? Did they ride his quick star power way too soon, because the way I see it as is, if you have Solo as a general sending Jacob out there to do devious things and to destroy, then that gives Jacob that easy out in which he can be just that guy. And
Mm-hmm.
all we need that guy to be is a psycho killer, just creating chaos. That's all we need him to do. But then again, you look on the other side, the way that they did take him away from Solo and them, it kind of forced Jacob to either sink or swim. And right now, he's just staying afloat.
Yeah.
And we don't need that, because we all know and recognize what Jacob can do. We've seen him on the indies, we've all seen him in our backyards, but we know, I know he's that guy. The guy they want him to be but are not allowing him to be.
He's that guy.
He's that guy, and he works so well with it. And these promos would hit so much harder if you were allowing him, his actions, to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's where I'm at with Jacob.
Listen, I agree with you completely in the sense of like they need to allow him to just be psycho again and
Yeah.
to tap into more of that. He doesn't necessarily need to be like growling and salivating on top of people, but like just a man who is so unhinged is how he got over. And then they made him talk and tell his story and try to get the sympathy behind him because he's got a lot of kids and he did hard time and all of this. And like, none of that's inaccurate, but that's not what we got behind.
No.
What we got behind was different. And because you changed it up and you tried to evolve the character, it didn't need it.
Yeah.
I believe, I don't know if keeping him with Solo was the right call, but I do know, or I do feel like in a hindsight, they went too quickly into turning him away from psycho mode.
Yeah. I
In
can
my
agree with that. Does it seem to you that now we've had the Royce Keys moment, we've had now Jacob coming out here and letting us know about his household business and where he keeps the extra set of keys to the car.
Yeah,
Um,
you gotta.
he,
That way your daughters can find him.
yeah. Does it feel to you that they're trying to turn this into the stories we hear during draft night?
Oh, like
You
NFL
know what
draft
I
night?
mean? You
You're
know
talking
what
about
I
like
mean?
NFL draft night?
I'm talking NFL, NBA,
Any sport.
any sport where they have a kid who comes
He
from.
grew up on the hard streets of
Dude,
Philadelphia.
tell me they're not with Royce Keys.
So here's the thing, though. I think Royce Keys has a stronger story.
He does.
And the reason he has a stronger story is because of all the trauma that was affecting him.
Yes.
Also, Royce Keys is coming in with that story. So he's being built with that story in mind. Fatu is spiraling into the story. Like he got switched into it because he
Yeah.
came in as the loose cannon. He came in as the guy we didn't want to have to bring in. He came in as the ace in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they were like, well, he's done with Solo, let's make him nice.
Yeah. Which makes no sense.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Like you just told us from the members that you told us to follow of his family that they were told not to hang out with him. And now that he's not away from, oh, he's a nice guy. He's a nice kid. Ask him for a
Nice
quarter.
dude.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get
He
that. Yeah.
goes he just goes up to his nice cousin Roman and he asks politely for a title shot because he would like it, please. And I know he didn't exactly ask it that way, but it
Yeah.
fucking felt like it compared
did.
to what he has been. And I know I'm belaboring the point a little long on Fatu, but I'll leave it at this with my general outlook on it. I have seen Fatu work. I have seen when it works. Right now, they're trying to tap into the same thing that they're doing with Royce Keys. And with Royce Keys, I think it's going to work. But with Fatu, they need to go back
Yeah.
because if they can get him back to the Madman, they have a main event player on their hands for years to come.
100%. I agree with that one. And what I meant about that was the way they're like doing the promo packages and shit
Oh,
like that.
absolutely.
Like Royce, it's purely like I'm just waiting to hear what college he's from and
Yeah.
what team's about to draft him. And
University of Yada Yada Mean.
I love it. I love it. We have to touch on this because this has been a discussion that has happened for months. We've had many arguments on what's happening with this tag team. But we got to kick it off with Breaker's coming out. Breaker's staking his claim. Breaker basically said, I killed Seth and I'm going to kill him again and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an attack and blood was shed. Like I know there was a chair shot, but I rewatched the highlights today.
Never saw what happened.
The chair hits him in the back and then all
Yeah, I
of a
was about to
sudden
say, because like I saw, I don't know if it was Michael Cole or Corey Graves or like someone I saw on the internet. I don't remember who said this, but they're like, "Oh, he must have been busted open by the chair," and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that hit him all back.
yeah,
So
it
I
was
don't
all
know.
back. So
Mm.
but Seth
I'm
gets,
pretty sure he busted himself. This happens sometimes. He busted himself open on something stupid. And because he busted himself open on something stupid, they blamed the chair, which is great commentary work, by the way.
yeah.
Because you can then blame Seth Rollins for getting color on Braun because of a happenstance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's great. Happens
and
all the time.
I think it was Cole that said it.
That makes sense.
I remember
Cole's
watching
good
the
at covering
highlight.
those.
Yeah. But then Vision did what the Vision does. They got a hold of Seth. But then we heard the sweet, sweet sound of one tag team. And this is where I want you to take it away, Kevin.
Sure. Let me paint you a word picture.
I love
In
it.
the ring, we have Seth Rollins on all four. We have Seth Rollins being held by Austin Theory and Logan Paul on each side. Braun Breaker looking to destroy this man. And then we start hearing bum 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 bum. I bring the swag like nobody can.
Oh, it was epic.
And we had Street Profits come back out, and Angelo Dawkins looking in the best shape of his life ever since D1 football.
Dude.
Probably even better than D1 football.
Man. Cut.
Montez Ford came out looking like a main event player.
Like he never missed a step.
And like these guys immediately make an impression by getting rid of the Vision, which is great. I like that you brought your red Solo cup to this to rep up.
Kevin sees my Easter eggs.
But like this was impactful because it immediately put them into the tag team title picture immediately. Yeah. And I think a lot of people for a long time have been wanting this Montez Ford solo run, you know, wanting this, wanting that for Montez Ford. I get it. You see it with Montez Ford. They need to be a tag team for a little bit still, in the sense of the tag team division needs people that matter. True. And the division need to feud with faces that matter. And they don't have many.
Yeah, no, you're 100%. And why not, instead of building one building, why don't we build a city? And in this tag run that they're going to do, let's build Dawkins up to where we can believe he's a singles competitor too. Because looks alone on his comeback, singles competitor. Let's go.
I agree. And it doesn't mean that they need to reach the same heights at the same times.
No.
Because I know a lot of people have seen that from Montez Ford and they've been conditioned by it. So the chances of Montez Ford coming out of it higher than Dawkins is pretty decent.
Yeah.
That being said, that doesn't mean Dawkins need to just get thrown to the wolves afterwards either.
100%.
And Dawkins came back, and on body type alone, I can tell you that man said, bet you can't fire me. I'm going to get in better shape so that I'm undeniable.
Yeah.
Came back and said, here's the work. let's do it. And I love when people come back in better shape than they left because it shows to me how excited they were that they're going to get an opportunity to come back, so they're going to make it count.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, in this business, I know on the outside world, we should not just go on looks, but we do go on looks
This
in the
is an
wrestling
aesthetic
world.
business.
Yeah,
I hate to tell you, folks, this is an
it really
aesthetics
is.
business, and that does now aesthetics doesn't mean that you have to be like you don't have to be that. You just have to have a look.
Yeah.
Like Bronson Reed has a look without having, without being jacked up to the gills. But Dawkins didn't. He felt like a D1 linebacker. He didn't
Yeah.
feel like much of a wrestler, right? Now he looks and feels like a wrestler.
Exactly.
And because
Exactly.
of that, I think it translates better to the audience.
No, I agree with you because when I look, I had to double take at him because the transformation is so like
Stupendous.
jarring, like
Mm-hmm.
and amazing. Like I am so happy this dude
Like he came out
found
without
that
a
next
shirt on
skill,
for the first time in his career.
dude. And he should have. He should have. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was
Show it
the
off.
move. Exactly. When you work that hard to get to something, show it off. Who cares what anybody says? This is your moment. Shine, baby boy, shine.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was honestly one of the biggest moments of Raw for me. Like these two, especially the conversations we've been having. When are we going to see them? What's happening? Things like Jones put a picture of them backstage, and it was like something 6 months in catering, and he's like, y'all are dumb. And I just asked the question of, is it the company that kept you backstage or us? And then that started a conversation in the chat.
Yeah.
The reason I bring that up is because these guys move the needle no matter what. If
Bingo.
it's a conversation, if it's a match, they move the needle. So I am so pumped that both of them took whatever time they had off, and they obviously figured some stuff out.
Montez had some doctor's appointments to make.
Montez had some doctor's appointments to make, and that's even, dude, one of the greatest female wrestlers and one of the greatest tag team wrestlers made a
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
That means the best wrestler ever is
See,
going to
that
be
second generation wrestler is going to be nuts.
sign that child now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sign it to a developmental deal.
I love it, and I bet you it was
Get that
pitched.
baby an ID contract.
I bet you it was pitched. Even if it was a joke, it was pitched. But okay, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. I'm just so stoked on the Street Profits being back. Hopefully, we get to see them weekly. Weekly is what I need from them.
We got to get them built back up.
Exactly.
We need them on TV beating tag teams.
Match. Just give us matches.
Have them beating Los Americanos next week. Boom.
Oh,
There's
that
your
would be a
match.
good one.
Because Tyler
would be-
Bate and Pete Dunne. Oh, sorry, blue and red. Oh, my bad. Nobody knows who's under the masks.
No one knows.
Allegedly, Tyler Bates. and Pete Dunne.
Allegedly.
They're gonna make Street Profits look good. They're gonna work great together.
Yeah.
I think that's the people you want for their return match.
Yeah, and I honestly think with them coming back, it's going to just ignite the whole tag team division because now the tag team knows they have a reliable tag team to work with, and that is going to make them look good.
Bingo.
Yeah, so I'm excited for it. Kevin, let's give our rating out of 10. Where are we at with this Raw after Mania?
The ending deflated me a little bit, like I talked about it earlier. So I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think it was a solid Raw, and a solid Raw after Mania. I think it did everything it needed to do, except close.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the most important part because it's the last taste that you have in your mouth.
Sure.
So I'm not saying I'm not excited for Fatu and Roman because I think it's going to be a great match and potentially a good feud depending on where it goes. However, with how they left it, I just didn't like how Fatu felt so punked out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with an 8.5.
I love the score. I mean, that's
I wish we would have
score.
ended with Cody and Punk instead of Roman and Fatu. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it felt like Cody and Punk teased something for the future.
No, they
Whereas
did.
Fatu and Roman, it felt like, do you really want to in the future, big dog?
Yeah.
You're not on my level. And then he walked out.
Yeah. No, I mean you're solid on that. And Cody, until the eye is fixed, Bryce has informed us he is now known as Two Face. So we will be referring to Cody as Two Face from here on out until that eye
That
is
I'm here
healed.
for it.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9
Sure.
because and I'm gonna go with exactly what you're talking about. But I'm starting to think the more we talk about it, Kevin, that's the doubt they want us to have
Sure.
is Jacob and the story they're giving us. And I think that means the crash out is going to be epic. So that's
Please,
where I'm going
please,
with
big
that.
dog, please
Yeah,
bring that to truth.
dude, I hope, I
Let's
think that's where
manifest
they're
it
going.
with our words.
That's what I'm trying to do. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. So, 8.5 from Kevin, a 9 for me. Let us know what you are on our when we sign out. And you know what, fans, we were going to do a blind challenge. We had someone set up, but they have a job, and we respect that. So,
I need money too.
yeah, exactly. So again, all you need to do is go to our social medias, let us know. You can hit us up on Facebook. That's going to be the easiest way for one of us because there's a
We
few
both
of
see it.
us who have access. So we'll be able to see that. And join us. The blind ranking challenge is a fun time. You're going to enjoy it. And we'll have a discussion with you. And plus, you'll be on in your house. Who doesn't want to do that? So, fans, stay with us. Kevin, let them know what you're doing and where they can find you.
You can follow me at Kevin Kalloway on Facebook, Kalloway Kevin on Instagram. I'm going to get back to editing some clips this week, but I got a Pistons playoff game to make tomorrow, so it won't be till later in the
Ooh,
week. Yeah. We'll have content for, well, not content, but like you'll see pictures.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Later in the week, I will have a stream coming at you at twitch.tv/Kevin Calloway Pro, continuing my journey through Ninja Gaiden 4. That'll be on Friday and probably another one on Saturday for some amount of time as well. I don't know if I'll play Ninja Gaiden both days, but I'll certainly be playing it Friday. I might spiral into something else. Let's say it's a new Capcom game named Pragmata because I really want to play Pragmata.
Okay. We can say that.
So you can catch me on Friday and Saturday this week for some Twitch streaming.
Beautiful. Yeah, go check that out. You'll enjoy Kevin playing some video games. It's a fun time. I've been in many streams that he's done, and it's got me through work. Usually it was my Friday getting me through through the
Yeah.
rest of the day, so I enjoyed it. But fans, if you enjoyed this, why don't you check us out next Tuesday where we do the same thing, but we talk about a different Monday Night Raw. We don't talk about the same one. We talk about the next one. And the next one should be a banger. They're setting up a lot. But to find us is going to be 6 p.m. right here, right where you found us at in your house. So come join me and Kevin, the Chaos Goblin, for another Tuesday night, Monday Night Raw review show. Outside of that, there's an ECW show that we hold near and dear to our hearts here at IYH. It's the ECW Watch Along. It's on a Wednesday. It's at 6 p.m. It's with me and House. And that's right, we watch ECW. I've told you guys for weeks, we are on the end of rivalries. We are getting ready to move to the next chapter of the ECW Watch Along. What's that going to be? Well, you can be a part of that decision. All you got to do is come hang out with us, comment, let us know what you want to watch. Well, fans, we do review AEW. Yeah, it's here. It's AEW Dynamite, Dynamite, Dynamite. Yeah, the review show. It's on a Thursday. It's at 6 p.m. It contains OG Tony, House, and me, the voice, as we talk about what AEW attempted on Wednesday. It's a fun time. You should come and hang out with us. We do have a fun time. We make it fun. The fans make it the best. They drive the conversation like you've seen here in the chat. They push it. They tell us what they want to talk about. We do have what we want to talk about. The loves and loathes. That's definitely one that everybody tunes in for. We give you a love. We give you a loathe. but we do give you the good, the bad, and what we see. So, fans, join us at 6 p.m. on a Thursday for the AEW recap show. Fans, IYH is moving and they are grooving, and we want you to be a part of that in every aspect that we do. We take suggestions, we take your ideas, and we try to make them bigger and better here. We try to give you all a platform to be yourselves and come here. I mean, fighting's one. You're one that we absolutely adore and love talking to. Daniel Garcia, you're one of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, you're becoming one of them. So, fans, thank you for everything that you have done for IYH, and thank you for tuning in every single time. So, there's more to be happening here at IYH. So, stay tuned. Kevin, I'm ready to go.
Ready,
I'm going to
baby.
go get something to eat, probably make some
Yeah,
tacos.
that's probably smart.
Beautiful. All right, fans, we will catch you on the next one. Bye.